Hello, Colin Bunyan and his 11th video recipe. This one is quite old school, but I like it. It is beef and ale stew. What makes this video different is I'm going to do it two ways, because the way I like my beef stew and the way my wife likes it are totally different. So we have to do two separate stews. So one's going to be the easy way, the way that Laura likes it, and one's going to be the artisan way, the way I like it, and in my view, the way it should be done. Right, the ingredients: I've got tomato puree, lard, I'll explain why, carrots and parsnips that I've peeled but I've not chopped, I've got a coarsely chopped onion, flour and water in a mixture, I'll explain why later on, salt, pepper, rosemary and thyme. Oh, caught the tripod. So salt, pepper, rosemary and thyme, a Guinness West Indies porter. I've also got two variants of beef stock, and then the beef. Now this beef is from the underside of the sirloin, so it's basically between the sirloin and the brisket. It is very, very useful for a stew meat, because although it's not too tough, it's tough enough so it merits low, slow cooking, but it's still tender enough so it'll melt in your mouth. Now, okay, these need to be cut out fairly small. So the first difference that me and Laura has concerns the searing of the meat. Despite numerous attempts, Laura still does not like her meat seared excessively. So that pan's been well used, I do need to get a new one. Okay, so we're going to heat up some fat, in this case lard. I have done it with bacon fat, it works just as well. Medium-high heat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cook this in two batches so I don't crowd the pan. Okay, and I'll cook that so it's a light sear. We're talking a minute or two aside, so it's not black, it's just tan, and there's a faint hint of sin, but nothing more than that. Laura does not like it when it's too deep. Right, that's about as much as she wants. You don't want it too well seared, just a little bit of lightness. That goes into the slow cooker, and I'm going to put in the onion that's been coarsely chopped. That's going to go in there and fry for about 4 or 5 minutes. Okay. Whilst that's in on the go, well, I've got carrots and parsnips that I've clanked up. They're going to go in there as well. And they go in raw. And I'm also going to add in 750ml of beef stock, switch it on to high, put that on, and then I'll add the onions in a mug. Okay, and again, Laura likes her onions relatively light caramelised. There's a bit there, but not much. So I'm going to have a squirt of tomato puree, a little bit of this thickener, probably about a teaspoon, a little bit of pepper, and a little bit of salt. The lid gets put on, and that gets left for about 5 hours. Right, you'll notice I've still been frying the onions off, half of the onions, because I want mine to get a real deep tan, dark caramelisation on my onions. Another dose of lard. Get the oven on to gas mark 3. Chop my beef into 6. Okay, I like my beef that size, okay? That's a good solid nugget right there. Okay, I'm going to do it batches. Now that is a level of charring I want on mine. I want mine deep caramelisation. Look at that lovely level of char. That's what I want. Hold on. Right. Can you see that? That is what I want on my steak. Lovely charred caramelisation. I like to caramelise my parsnips and onions. So parsnips and carrots. And now some tomato puree. And that needs to be cooked for 3 to 4 minutes, because otherwise you'll end up with that slightly taste on it, which you don't want. So you need to cook it out. Render out the tartness of the tomato puree for that sweet flavour. And because it's a thick, viscous substance, it'll work well with the meat and the natural gelatinous substances in that to get this really thick, beautiful gravy. I'm going to add in about half of this mixture. It's a tablespoon of flour with the same amount of water. I'll just cook that through. For about 30 seconds. Put the beef back in. Give that 30 seconds. Right along the bottom. And then we come to the deglazing parts. 350ml of beef stock. 500ml of Guinness Porter. I'll discuss this more in the blog, but Guinness Porter, it's got to be a rich, dark beer. Absolutely beautiful. That's one of the best ones for beef stew. So if I give you that in a stew, you know you're doing well. Thyme, about a tablespoon of that. Rosemary, similar level. I need the pepper grinder, because this one's terrible. And of course salt, not that much mind. I'm going to give about 10 minutes just to stir through and to deglaze the pan, and then that goes into the oven, which I put on a gas mark 3 about 10 minutes ago, so it's up to temperature for 3 hours. Now you've got to get it back up to temperature before you put it in the oven, otherwise it'll never cook through. So you want to make sure it's back up to temperature. That's why I give it 10 minutes on the hob, then I bung it back in. Lid's off. Why? Because the water then comes out of the pot and doesn't always bounce back in, so the water reduces, gets thicker. I'll see you in 3 hours. Oh, this is a big reveal, this one. Right, I'll take it into this pot. Look at that. That has reduced down by a good inch in 3 hours. The gravy is absolutely beautifully thick. Not too thick, but glossy, thick in texture. And the smell. I'm dishing this up now, sod it. That's how Laura's looks. this bad boy is how mine looks. So, stick a fork in that, mate. That's a bad boy if ever there was one. I'll see you next time. Catch you later.